bed in, and look at this. Look at this female bear. She's just sleeping. She's under her pile of leaves. There's the rest of her den deep inside the cave here, but what an amazing experience here.
Okay, ladies, I have to apologize. I now understand why y'all said y'all choosing the bear over versus the man. Brother, what do you mean you are in a bear den, bro? Bro, that is insane. Nobody asked you to go do that. I swear to you, most of the world has been fine with how National Geographic captures bears doing their thing from afar. This was not necessary. Bro, this is a different level of type, you know what I'm saying? I've never seen no shit like this, bro. I'm talking about that bear could even take a little nap ski. Bro, talking about, excuse me. I'm trying to, yeah, go ahead. Okay, look at him sleeping. What? And it makes it worse because it's a lady bear. Like, that's even worse, bro. Like, not only is it a bear, but it's a girl bear. Couldn't have no peace from a man. Damn.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you for joining me here for Conversations with Taz, Talk About It Tuesday. Now, with that opening video, people aren't asking the most important question. How did he know that was a girl? Election results are running in. Looks like for Pennsylvania Supreme Court, Justice Christine Donahue is projected. Herval for the Cincinnati mayoral race, the incumbent, has not been removed from office. Virginia governor is Abigail Spanberger, and the lieutenant governor was the Democratic candidate as well. And on this good night of elections, coming from Politico, Westmore launches Maryland redistricting commission after top state Dem stymies effort. Maryland Democratic Governor Wes Moore is pushing to redraw the state's congressional maps, announcing on Tuesday the creation of a commission that will propose new lines ahead of the 2026 midterms. Moore's announcement that he's creating the governor's redistricting advisory commission comes a week after Democratic State Senate President Bill Ferguson sent a letter to dozens of state lawmakers declaring the Senate is choosing not to move forward with mid-cycle redistricting. It sets up a clash between the two Democratic leaders and a blue-leaning state where any effort to redraw the map will net a single seat, given that Maryland Democrats already dominate the state's congressional delegation with 7 of its 8 U.S. House seats. It also comes as Democrats are ramping up their efforts to change maps to match President Donald Trump's moves to redistrict red-leaning states to net additional seats for Republicans. My commitment has been clear from day one. We will explore every avenue possible to make sure Maryland has fair and representative maps, Moore said in a statement Tuesday. This commission will ensure that people are heard. The commission will be chaired by Maryland Democratic Senator Angela Alsobrooks, a close ally of Moore's, who he helped get elected to the Senate last year. Moore's other appointees include Brian Frosch, the state's former Democratic Attorney General who served under former Republican Governor Larry Hogan, and Ray Morris, the nonpartisan mayor of the city of Cumberland. The other appointees of the commission include Maryland House Speaker Adrienne Jones, who has been public about her intent to launch a redistricting push, and Ferguson or designee. In a statement, Ferguson suggested he is open to Marylanders hearing opposing concerns and that following through on a redistricting push could backfire on Democrats and unintentionally give Donald Trump 1 or 2 additional congressional seats. Maryland Supreme Court leans conservative, with 5 of the 7 justices being appointed by former Republican Governor Larry Hogan, underscoring Ferguson's concern that future legal battles challenging newly created maps may ultimately be detrimental to Democrats. Moore, considered a potential 2028 presidential candidate, is itching for Maryland to enter the national mid-decade redistricting fight that touched off earlier this year when Trump urged the GOP-controlled Texas legislature to redraw districts to pick up 5 seats that favor Republicans ahead of next year's midterms. Moore himself has characterized what Trump is doing as nothing more than political redlining, a reference to discriminatory housing practices that kept Black Americans out of predominantly white neighborhoods by denying them mortgages. Here's the thing. There have been long-standing issues with how districts have district maps have been drawn up. And now is the time to make things right. Now is the time to get people the representation that they truly need and deserve. It really is. And it's far past time for all other political parties to try to continue to color within the lines and not give Trump any pushback. The lack of pushback has him feeling that he's invincible. It has him feeling like the voters are all on his side and that every other politician is afraid of him. And it's time to change that tide. It is beyond time to change that tide. Now, and speaking of those that support Trump, Floyd Child, take a look at this. Same day, same hoodie.
Lord knows I wish I can go back and redo some things in my past. The beautiful thing about Jesus, Jesus saved. I woke up today in an economy, in a world that has lost hope, that has lost faith, and most important, has lost the love of Christ. But I'm a witness, a testimony that Jesus saved me coming from the dungeon, coming from the mud, coming from prison, coming from addictions. And yet, he let me live today. Oh yeah, I walk because of him.
Have you noticed something about all of these people who are coming out denigrating those that need some assistance? The assistance that they pay into, the assistance that they work hard for. They too have needed to utilize assistance. They have overcome incarceration, addiction, poverty, all of these things. But you caught how he was celebrating people not being able to use their SNAP benefits, those that, didn't have any this past weekend. But here's the thing, people don't want to educate themselves. Everybody doesn't get benefits on the 1st. And there are some people who, from August sometimes, but usually around September, that start rationing things down even more because they want a little extra, to get Halloween candy, to pay for the winter holiday season. So they have some people have a little bit of a reserve. But he's sitting there saying, and did you notice that he said in this economy, so he knows that things are tough. Because it's not that they really believe that the downtrodden are despicable people. They don't. Because they know where they've come from. They know what everybody is in together. They do it to be able to click up with people. See, before we had social media, people would say that so that they could get into the certain social circles with people that they felt that they were just entitled to be in those social circles with. And now with social media, they're using it to grip. They're using it for clicks, likes, and views and for their monetization. Because humanity doesn't pay. Being honest doesn't pay. And it doesn't even pay them all that well. But they'll continue to do it because they want certain invitations. And then when they get those invitations, you don't really hear about them clamoring for those invitations anymore because they're not really accepted. They don't really fit in because there are people who have been faking it for far longer. And they just want you there, just like racist white people want Black Coontastic Coalition friends. So they have someone to talk down on. Mm-hmm. Let's see what else we got on the horizon.
Time of the week again. Time for you to get.
Oops. Nope, not that one. Here we go. Now, in case you're not aware, the lovely woman in the gray pantsuit is Charlie Kirk's mother. The man standing next to her, excuse me, is his father. Erica Kirk, the grieving, not so grieving widow, is surrounded by political figures in putting on the show. I'm pretty sure this video pissed her off. Excuse me, because she's not centered in it. But I have not seen anybody capitalize on death like this in quite a while. In quite a while. This woman is acting as if she's Jackie Kennedy and she's looking for her Mr. Onassis. But even Jackie Kennedy didn't remarry or do all of this overnight. Because if you're trying to show that, okay, we have a family business that I have to keep going, because mind you, she has her own business as well. She has her own nonprofit. And 2 small children that I don't know when she's been home to take care of them. I don't know if they have nannies. I don't know that situation. But to show like, oh, you know, you have people in place to do it. You have people in place. This is not how you show strength. It's not. This is a performance. I've seen widows try to suck it up. Hell, at my mother's funeral, I had to speak multiple times. One of the most difficult things I've ever done. My father has performed the funeral of 2 of his older brothers. You can be stoic. You can. But while you're trying to exhibit strength, you're not doing this. And isn't it amazing? Isn't it? Her makeup is always pristine. She's never wiping tears. It's always dabbing in the corners. Always. The strength under pressure in this picture is his parents. Oh, you're absolutely correct, Tristina. She knows her audience. Now, here's the thing. Y'all know me. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Do I like to talk conspiracies? Yes, because I like to discuss the workings of how could this be made? How could this possibly happen? But too much is coming up. Longtime assistant is there, calls his father. Father obviously is lying to cover for his son. But the second phone call is to Erica Kirk, but initial statements were, oh, we can't release this information because we haven't notified the family. She would be his direct next of kin. The father comes out, the father of the assistant comes out and goes, yeah, my son was so calm and he was covered with blood. No, he wasn't. I looked at the footage. No, he wasn't. He wasn't even standing on the right side, on the correct side, I should say, of Kirk for blood to get on him. There's a reason why this woman is not safe. And here's the thing. We can speculate all day long. One thing that I know and I've learned in my life, whatever you speculate that could seem very logical is going to be based on your lived experience, whether things that you've done, things that you've experienced, things that you've witnessed other people do. It will probably not be, whatever you come up with, won't be as strange as the reality. It won't be. Because I myself, I've done or said things with the most innocent of intent, and people are like, oh my God, that's so nefarious. And I'm like, what made you think that? Just like, so you have to take that into consideration. That's why I'm very cautious online when people that claim that they are former cheaters start making those pages where they're like, well, here are all the signs. That may not be a sign for you at all. Some of y'all ruining relationships because you're seeing cheating everywhere and it ain't there. But Erica Kirk doesn't want to work for real. Not for Turning Point USA. And there's no way, and I said this before when she said that she was going to take over that position, the whole business model, how it's been set up, it's not set up for a woman to lead. And they're already auditioning men to take his place. First of all, the whole premise is creepy. Now, to have a governing body, a head organization, cool. And then having the chapters like they have, and maybe everybody paying dues, and that's how they do it. And they still have their big convention where, you know, these people can make it there and meet their political idols and all that stuff. Cool. But we really have to rethink. And yes, you can go back to college. You can go to college at any time. But we really have to think, why is it so normalized for middle-aged men to keep going and chilling on college campuses? If you can recognize it's weird that middle-aged men, alumni, or they dropped out of the school, will still show up to college parties, why is this not in the same category? Why aren't the debates being had between the members of the chapters on these college campuses and other organizations there? Why don't they have like a big debate team conference or set up, you know, a Turning Point USA, debating tournament where, you know, they challenge themselves that way, challenge each other that way? Why do it this way? And how are these debates converting anybody? The people that are showing up to fangirl over anybody already were on board because of the podcast, because of the clip farming and all of this. And the ones showing up to contradict Turning Point USA, they're doing it for their own clicks, their own social media views, and sometimes for classwork. Like, because if the whole thing is supposed to be a recruitment tool, Charlie Kirk is horrible. Who was listening to him going, yeah, I'm gonna go follow him on a college campus? Because even when they were trying to clip him up, he still didn't win a single debate. He did more for the other side than he did his own side. And if you're saying you want more conservatives, why aren't you sending people or material to educate them on what you feel conservatism is and how appealing it can be for them? Like, why do we keep feeling comfortable with full-grown adults going onto college campuses to go back and forth with teenagers? Make it make sense. Make it make sense, please. Like you sit here and tell people online, oh, well, we found out this is a child. Don't go back and forth with them. But in real life, that's okay. I guess. You like it, I love it, I guess. And conservatives, y'all are not slick. You sit here and show your hand that you don't vote for conservatives. You vote for white people. Because you always expect black people to do that. And you also vote for white people who you believe will singularly take care of white people. Because anytime a black person is in the race, you don't do this to any other community. You're like, well, what are they going to do specifically for you? They don't represent specifically my community. They represent the people of this country. And you're like, such and such told them to vote for them because they're black, until that black person is conservative. Then you want us to vote based on race. Well, guess what? Little Miss wins some. She lost some tonight. Trump didn't even want anything to do with her. Y'all don't even pay attention to your own leadership and all the instructions that are handed down. This woman put out so much stuff regarding the trans community that even some of the most conservative was like, bitch, you doing too much. You're going too far. I'm done. But see, y'all are not like the old school. Y'all haven't been taught, and you're not teaching your new conservatives that this shit is, these talking points are lies. And you got to know, how to sprinkle them through. So y'all keep pushing agendas on one another that you're shooting yourselves in the foot and tripping yourselves up, getting close to the finish line. Looks like in New Jersey, it's too close to call, they're saying right now, but it's looking like New Jersey is going to, yeah, looks like the governor is going to be a Democrat there as well. Yeah, so if you see me looking over to the side, I've got election results over there. Now, okay, jury rejects DOJ case alleging assault. Sydney Lori Reed has been acquitted of assaulting FBI agent Eugenia Bates during an ICE arrest following a trial that exposed major evidentiary issues. Of course, who thought that ICE would have evidence or proper evidence? Because instead of giving us prosecutions, indictments, grand jury testimonies, they keep giving us what looks like Hollywood trailers for a movie coming out next summer. The jury deliberated for under 2 hours, casting doubt on the prosecution's credibility. Prosecutors previously failed to secure a felony indictment and only achieved a misdemeanor charge. Here's the thing. This DOJ has the worst track record ever. And the DOJ is generally solid, generally speaking. The grand jury told you nah, but you still wanted to push forward. But it's not politically motivated. It's not about propaganda. Because most people don't go past the headlines, or they don't follow up to stories. Because it's far more tantalizing for breaking news. Let me give you a little bit of information that's really critical to you right now. But if you want the rest of it, subscribe to me on Substack. Miss me with that. Reed said the verdict shows that this administration and their peons are not able to invoke fear in all. Reed said, the verdict shows that this administration and their peons are not able to invoke fear in all citizens. They shouldn't be able to invoke fear in none of this. That's like you being out somewhere with 20 people. It's you plus 20 people. So it's 21 of y'all total. And 2 people come up, okay? That's sopping wet, holding bricks, could get blown over by a strong wind, and you sit there and cower like, oh, don't hurt me, don't hurt me. Are you fucking serious? It's just like people who allow themselves to get carjacked while they're inside the car by somebody holding a knife. I'm rolling the window up and pulling off. You gonna throw it at me? You gonna throw it at the car? I don't care. Even if you flat the tire, I will get another tire tomorrow. I feel sorry for the prosecutors, really, who must be burdened by Trump's irrational and unfounded hatred for his fellow man. Knowing that I can stand in front of 12 of my fellow citizens and be found not guilty for standing up for basic human rights makes me feel like, despite the scary times we live in, we have hope for the future. A judge cited late disclosures and missing texts, while Reed's attorneys called the charges excessive and intimidating. Public defenders Tazira Abe and Eugene Ohm stated the case was meant to be a warning from the Justice Department that it would have the backs of ICE goons. Late disclosure. That's because they're not qualified. They're not experienced. Trump keeps getting people with no prosecutorial experience. People who just befriend people that presumably are in his inner circle, show up generally when he's playing golf, because that seems to be the best time to impress him, dressed a certain way, you know, that Mar-a-Lago uniform. They suck up and tell him how great he is, and they get a job. And these people are cheering this on, not realizing the security risks that this poses. Like somebody told me today, I don't know why everybody's so stuck on Trump not knowing that he's also the president of Puerto Rico. There's much more important things to worry about. That is important. An incompetent leader is dangerous for all of us. Look what he's doing to the economy. Look what he's doing to healthcare. There are new cuts coming to SSDI. And so many other things. He is a bumbling fool. He almost messed up a deal with China. He had to go groveling back. He doesn't want to tell you that part. He has a hard-on for Venezuela, and he is willing to jeopardize lives, the lives of U.S. citizens and residents, for the sake of his ego. Because he is still waiting for somebody to tell him he's a good boy and he can come sit at the big kids' table and he can finally have some friends without actually gaining intellect or personality. So if you want to know why people are against permissive parenting or ignoring your children, and if you ever wondered and still debating over the nature versus nurture conversation, look at Donald John Trump. He comes from a core family that was never meant to be a family. Those children were to be housed until they could be used as workhorses. There was no love. There was no compassion. There was no teaching. He used his screen time in front of the television to formulate in his head what wealth looked like to him and how to get power. His brain never developed past anything. One, nobody ensured that he actually learned anything in school, because as you learn, you mature. That deductive reason, that critical thinking, it will help you mature. You will gain wisdom. He didn't. He has been stunted since he could first manipulate people. And because he started worshiping how he believed mob bosses moved, from a very young age, he became a bully. And he's never been good at it. But because nobody told him, hey, you're not good at this, they just pretty much ignored him. And in his mind, that was the equivalent of a pat on the back. He's the poster child of silence is compliance. When you don't check somebody about something, they get more bold with it. They continue because they believe it's okay. This is why I dislike when people go, oh, well, you know, it's just how Shelly is. Well, the Shelly ain't going to be like that no more. That is Donald John Trump. Because for somebody who proclaims that he's always had money, why does he dress like a cartoon character? Most cartoon characters, during the course of all the seasons they're on the air, they have 2 to 3 wardrobe changes. He's supposed to be wealthy, and nothing of his is tailored. He looks like a Kmart blue light special every single day. And no shade to Kmart. I wish they would come back. But come back with the little restaurant in the back again. He thinks that if you adorn it in gold, that makes it expensive. And if it's old, that makes it valuable. His idea of style is the gaudy 1980s movie version of mafioso. He is the original participation trophy. And that's why I tell people all the time, stop blaming George Bush for the No Child Left Behind. He just slapped a label on it and made you pay attention to it. We've been doing that since we've had school systems. Let's not act like that certain athletes or certain pageant queens didn't get pushed through school. Let's not forget that whole school districts shut down rather than desegregate, but these adults still have jobs. You're looking at people 50, 60 years old, and you're like, how you got 40 years in at that job? If they weren't going to school, they were going to work. And they didn't care if you could read, write, balance a check, nothing. And people are like, oh, we need to go back to home ec. No, we need to get to a point where everybody has to raise their children. You're talking about don't have kids that you can't feed. Don't have kids you don't want to raise. There's a difference between raising children and housing children. You want to put so much off on the school district. Yeah, we can bring home ec back and everything else. And think about the things that had to be taken out in order to not have these kids in school for 10 to 12 to 14 hours. And we're not even talking about extracurriculars at that point. And what wasn't being taught. Want to argue for weeks on end about not wanting to pay for somebody else's food, but you want somebody else to fully raise your kids. But don't discipline them, no. But if they fuck up, it's your responsibility. If they can't read, it's your responsibility. And here's the thing. We already pay for each other's shit. When the Affordable Care Act / Obamacare came out, I heard so many people, I don't want to pay for somebody else's insurance. You already do. And somebody already pays for your insurance. Whether you have private insurance, Medicare, or Medicaid, it all goes into one pot. Do you think after paying 2 months worth of premiums, you paid in enough for that quadruple bypass you needed to save your life? Same with any other insurance. We all pay into one pot and we pull out as we need it. But you compartmentalize yourself away from all of that logic. You compartmentalize yourself away from all of that. And I will keep using this as an example. It's no different than the cell phone racket. All of these businesses essentially have the same blueprint, the same business model. They have convinced you that you don't want to look poor or seem poor if you have this service. So you're paying hundreds of dollars for the same service that somebody else is getting between $45 and $65 a month. And please explain to me, when you see the phone, how do you know what service plan somebody has? And then if you go, well, if they send me a screenshot, it's up at the top. You do realize every major carrier has prepaid plans, and every cell phone bill is a prepaid plan by nature. This is why if your bill is due on the 15th and you don't pay it on the 15th, they cut it off instantly. There's no lead time. You're prepaying for that month. You're not post-paying. They trick you so that they can flip you upside down and shake everything out of your pockets and then flip your couch cushions up and scrape up all the change from there. We have things a certain way in this country because of racism. And I know you don't like for me to bring it up and be like, oh, everything isn't based in. Yes, it is. It is based in racism. When they're talking about traditional families, they're talking about white middle class on up traditional families where they had black domestics coming in, cooking, cleaning, raising children, and sometimes fucking a husband too. That wasn't traditional for everyone. This is why when we got away from domestics working in the house so often, because the domestic workers started to unionize, and you had to start giving them vacations and paying them more, they were like, no, never mind. That's when they pushed for home ec and everything else to be taught in schools, because you had generations of mothers that couldn't teach their daughters how to cook. When you see the videos making fun of certain types of cuisine, it's because they were making it up as they went along. And they had to sprinkle a little status symbol on there. Ooh, refrigerators and gelatin. We need to show everybody we got more money than them. The Negroes can cook better than us, but we got the Jello. This is why you have people now believing that they're entitled to everything about a teacher and getting pissed off. Well, I don't understand why that teacher didn't help my Johnny remember to get his water bottle out after she told him 3 times. I mean, she could have just taken 5 minutes and sang him the little water bottle song like I taught her so that he could. No. We have to realize that there are people that still don't know how to raise children, but want to come on and have 50 million hot takes telling people not to have children they can't afford. Meanwhile, they got 2 sets of parents taking them kids every weekend, aunts, uncles, and cousins, paying most of the bills. When they got married, the whole family chipped in together to buy them a house that they are slowly but surely furnishing through other people in the family, redecorating their homes. And yes, there are a multitude of people who do it just like that and will turn around and tell you, well, I did it on my own. And the reason why the stories are always, well, they pulled off in their BMW because they've done it. They've put everything that they own into a trust, and they pay themselves out of a trust just to show that they're in poverty, and they will get those benefits, and they're doing it. They're projecting. And then they get pissy when the white immigrants come over here and want to be lazy and come up to them like, well, I thought y'all said we was going to get everything. Oh, that's not true. We work them immigrants to the bone. We pay them less than we pay black women. And, we don't really pay them all that much. Yeah, we tell them that it's cool to work 100 hours a week. When do they sleep? Well, I mean, do their kind really need sleep? When chattel slavery ended and the parameters of slavery changed, two things happened. Birth rates went up, still needed free labor, and dog adoption went up. And I want you to think about the process of adopting a dog and why they do it that way. Now, as we close out, of course, I have an entitled Karen for you. It's a perfect example of what I mean. People don't know how to raise children. And they were kind of hoping that they would get what their grandmas and their memas got. Because you notice the women who have the most help are always like, well, I did this for my family. And I did. Girl, writing it down on a list for Martha Ann to come over and do it for you. Ain't you doing all that? But take a look.
So I'm literally in my car bawling my eyes out because...
First of all, what's she looking out the window for? Because if you're that emotional, why are you looking out the window like you would be embarrassed if somebody walked up? Number one. Number two, why'd you set the camera up? 3, if it was so traumatic, why are you recording here? Why didn't you drive home? Calm yourself down and then tell the story.
Oh my God. I just went to TJ Maxx with my 1-year-old and
That was traumatic? Was that traumatic for you or everybody else? Because you said a 1-year-old.
I have a wedding this weekend. I need to get some stuff.
You waited till the last minute to shop for a wedding? Note to self. Note to self. Very few white people invite, because y'all do that on a regular basis? You ain't know beforehand? I'm not saying I got the best fashion sense, but looking at you, girl, like, what did you need to get? Were you trying to purchase fashion sense? I don't know.
And one of the workers, I don't know, he like came up and I thought he was...
Girl, where are these tears? You are sniffling all over the place. You looking everywhere but the camera. Where are the tears? And why is this so damn traumatic? A worker came up to you? What did he tell you? Get your crumb snatcher? Because I feel like that's where this is going.
Like my daughter, she was being loud and...
Oh! He didn't come up and offer to babysit for you, walk her around the store, give her a little treat so she'll shut the fuck up. And you didn't think, maybe put a pause in your shopping, take her outside, calm her down, give her a little lesson in self-regulation.
She was crying, and not crying, but she kept trying to like run around and stuff. And
was she crying or you don't know the difference between crying and running? And you said she was loud, so she was running around and yelling? Oh, you better be glad he walked over, because that means a couple people went over and complained. You better be glad none of them drop kicking, because there are few shoppers. Depending on the day, she'd have been in orbit. I'm not saying I condone it, but I am saying she could have been in orbit.
I picked her up and I'm like, you're not listening. Like, I gotta hold you. And of course, she's one. Like, she started.
Oh, she's one. And I can hear her in the back seat. So you still didn't calm that little baby down. Wait a minute. You got a 1-year-old with you that was making noise and running around. Why wasn't she in the cart? You just out in the wild. But you still haven't calmed her down. You just put her in the car and you decided this is Mama's Meryl Streep moment. Okay.
It's like obnoxiously screaming. Like I already.
Oh, it gets better. She's obnoxiously screaming and running through the store because you didn't put her in the car. Okay. You know they have seats in the car for a reason. They got nice little seat belts for a reason. Like, you know your child. And you know the time of day that you can go out with your child if you put them on a schedule, which I would think by child number 7, you would know to have a child on the schedule, because I peeped your profile. You have 7 children. And what, number 8 is baking, because you think that it's a badge of honor to say that your husband is working himself to death to take care of a family of 9. Sweetheart, if you have not figured out how to shop with just one of your kids, oh, geez, Louise. I couldn't imagine all of them being out there. But let's go.
Obviously felt wicked awkward and uncomfortable, but I'm trying to just like get what I need and get out of it. And one of the workers comes up and he's like, excuse me, can you please get your daughter out of the store, bring her outside, she's being...
But wait, there's no, because you see where she's at.
What?
Did she ever go into the store? I got questions. Take a look.
Go.
When I tell you I am shook right now. What is that? I don't know if you can see it. There is a black frickin' hair growing off my chin. In 33 years, I have not had a hair growing off my face, my chin, nothing. I don't know what's happening, but I asked Google and I used the Dr. Malaxin peel, and Google said that...
Go.
So,
Go.
you sat in the car, recorded several videos, it seems. The child wasn't making noise in that video. So instead of snatching her up to go do your shopping and just do your videos when you got home or whenever, is you cool, bitch? Hey, Inferno. This is what I mean. Everybody is not meant to raise children, and everybody does not know how. A lot of people look at having children as them becoming the final boss of womanhood. Some of them look at it as accessories. Some of them are preparing for the future as to, well, if I have enough children, they can rotate through taking care of me. Pretty much, she just confessed. Yep, Nightbird, she did. Oh, Nightbird, I will write you a strongly worded letter. Merch is up. And All Justice, No Kings merch is up too. Launch tonight. Your girl works fast. But yes. She confessed. She sat there in that car. I am a full-grown adult. Now, from time to time, you will get content from me in the car because usually I'm a passenger princess. As I'm driving, something will spark me. I'll comment. I'll respond or something like that. But I'm not going to sit in a parking lot. No. But these are the type of people that believe that everybody else in the world should conform to their lack of parenting. And not just conform, they should step in and do the parenting for you. Well, for them. But you know, I guess. With 60% in, 49.6% is going to Mamdani. Oh, I'm sorry. 51.3% to Mamdani, 40.0% to Andrew Cuomo, and 7.7% to Sliwa, which I kind of figured. And that's with 58% reported. Once again, win some, didn't win some. She lost some tonight. Spanberger won in Virginia for governor. I cannot, at this moment, think of the lieutenant governor, but New Jersey, Democrat also is projected to win. Cheryl for New Jersey for the governor's race with 72.7 reporting right now, and she has 56.5% to 42.9 of her Republican counterpart. And the final polls close roughly in another hour. So projected, they're calling it. They're saying the projected winner is Mamdani. Hashmi is the projected winner for the lieutenant governor of Virginia. So yes. As always, thank you all for joining me. I will do my best to keep you updated on all of the election results here and on TikTok. I will see you all tomorrow. Join me for the Taz Effect at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Central. Is there anything else? Oh, I will be updating the GCPR schedule because there's some new things popping on GCPR radio. And once again, if you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? And if you don't have any Taz merch, why? Feels a little anti-black, even if you're black. A lot of the GOP has voted Democrat this time around. So I'm sure to save face, they're going to claim that there was some rigging, but they went too far. Like I said, a lot of these candidates were like pushing hard on anti-trans rhetoric. They were trying to, after going, this is a Christian nation, trying to go to the Jewish community, while being anti-Semitic to people. So they don't know what they want to do. And they're realizing all the different names per state, Medicaid and Medicare, are called. So, but according to them, this is what they voted for. So, I don't know what to tell them. I don't know what to tell them. So, go take a break, get a snack, eat dinner, whatever. If you are so inclined on GCPR radio, check out Conversations with T. Nathan at 11 p.m. Eastern. As of now, as always, each one teach one, each one we run. Thank you for joining me. Till next time.